single slap echoed through the restaurant so loudly that every fork froze in midair. Customers stopped chewing, glasses trembled against the tables, and the young waitress named Mia staggered sideways, her hand flying to her burning cheek. Tears instantly filled her eyes. But what hurt far more than the slap was the silence that followed. Dozens of people watched, yet not a single voice challenged the furious manager standing over her. It looked like the worst day of Mia's life had finally reached its cruelest moment. But no one in that restaurant realized that within the next few minutes, one ordinary customer would make a decision that would change her future forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness and second chances can change someone's life, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Enlighten Story, and share it with someone who still believes good people exist. We'd also love to know where you're watching from today. Leave your city and country in the comments so our Enlighten Story family can greet you from around the world. Mia had worked at Maple Grove Diner for nearly 3 years. She was only 26, but life had already taught her lessons that most people never experienced. After losing both parents within 2 years, she became the only caregiver for her younger brother, who was studying at a community college while working part-time. Every paycheck Mia earned disappeared almost immediately into rent, groceries, tuition payments, and medical bills left behind by her mother's illness. She never complained because she believed that as long as she kept working honestly, better days would eventually come. Every customer knew her warm smile, her incredible memory for orders, and the gentle way she treated elderly guests. Even on the hardest mornings, Mia greeted everyone as if they were family. Unfortunately, her manager, Derek Coleman, saw kindness as weakness. He believed fear made employees work harder. Every small mistake became an excuse for humiliation. If someone arrived 2 minutes late because of traffic, Derek yelled across the dining room. If an order was delayed by the kitchen, he blamed the servers instead. The entire staff walked on eggshells whenever he entered the restaurant, knowing that one bad mood could ruin everyone's day. That afternoon, the diner was overflowing with customers. A child accidentally bumped into Mia while she carried 3 plates, causing one meal to slide onto the floor. The restaurant suddenly became silent. Mia immediately apologized to the family, even though it wasn't her fault, and rushed to clean the mess. Instead of helping, Derek stormed across the room with rage burning in his eyes. Without listening to a single explanation, he shouted that she was incompetent and embarrassing the restaurant. Then, in front of everyone, he struck her across the face. The sting faded quickly, but the humiliation settled deep inside her heart. Mia stood frozen, unable to believe what had just happened. She looked around, hoping someone might say something, but frightened employees lowered their eyes while many customers simply looked away. She felt completely alone. Derek ordered her to leave immediately and told her never to come back. Her job, her dignity, and her hopes seemed to disappear in the same heartbreaking moment. Just as Mia picked up her small backpack and walked toward the exit, a man slowly stood from a nearby table. He had quietly eaten lunch alone, dressed in a simple navy sweater with nothing about him suggesting wealth or influence. Throughout the entire incident, he had watched everything without saying a word, his phone open to a photo of his young daughter waiting for him at home. Now he calmly placed several hundred bills on the table, not for the meal, but to ensure every employee's tips were covered if business stopped for the day. Then he walked directly toward Mia instead of the exit. His name was Daniel Carter, a single father raising his 8-year-old daughter alone since losing his wife 2 years earlier. What nobody inside the diner knew was that he also owned one of the largest restaurant groups in the state. Months earlier, he had begun secretly visiting independent restaurants to observe how workers were treated. Fancy dining rooms and impressive profits meant nothing to him if employees were abused behind the scenes. As a father raising a daughter on his own, he understood better than most what it meant to be judged unfairly while trying your hardest just to keep going. Today's visit had given him the answer he needed. Daniel quietly asked Mia to wait outside for a few minutes before turning back toward Derek. The restaurant remained completely silent as Daniel introduced himself and showed his business identification. Derek's confident expression vanished almost instantly. Daniel explained that he had witnessed physical assault, public humiliation, and a complete failure of professional leadership. He informed Derek that the incident had been recorded by several customers and security cameras. More importantly, he explained that respect could never be replaced by intimidation and that businesses built on fear always collapsed from within. Several customers who had remained silent finally found the courage to speak. One by one, they confirmed what they had seen and offered their contact information if Mia ever needed witnesses. The silence that had protected wrongdoing transformed into a room filled with people refusing to ignore injustice any longer. Outside, Mia sat on a bench, wiping away tears, convinced she was now unemployed with no way to pay next month's rent. Daniel joined her carrying a fresh cup of coffee. He thanked her not for serving lunch, but for showing extraordinary patience and professionalism despite months of mistreatment. He explained that his company was opening a new restaurant nearby and that he needed leaders who treated people with compassion rather than fear. Instead of offering sympathy, he offered something much more valuable, a position as assistant dining supervisor with better pay, health insurance, flexible hours, and opportunities for promotion. Mia could barely speak. She had expected pity, perhaps even advice, but never an opportunity greater than the job she had just lost. For the first time that day, tears rolled down her face because of hope instead of pain. She accepted the offer, promising herself that if she ever became a manager, no employee under her care would experience what she had endured. 6 months later, the new restaurant became one of the highest rated in the city. Customers returned not only because the food was excellent, but because every employee genuinely smiled. Mia knew every staff member by name, celebrated birthdays, helped new hires gain confidence, and stepped into the busiest shifts whenever someone struggled. She proved that leadership was never about power, but about lifting others when they were close to falling. Meanwhile, the old diner gradually lost employees, customers, and its reputation. News of the incident spread throughout the community, reminding everyone that respect is earned through character, not authority. The slap that was meant to destroy Mia's confidence had unexpectedly opened the door to the life she had always deserved. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes kindness still exists, and subscribe to Enlighten Story so we can continue bringing you stories that remind us humanity is never truly lost. Before we end, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you had witnessed Mia being slapped that day? Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't that a stranger steps in. It's that one act of courage inspires everyone else to stop looking away. And when even one person chooses compassion over silence, a broken heart can find the strength to begin again.